To explore this further, we are now joined by Gift of the Givers founder, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman. Great to have you, Imtiaz. Welcome to the agenda this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Imtiaz, what are the systems that are being put in place right now in the search and rescue missions?
Good morning to you. Well, just to go back a little bit, the people you had on your program a short while ago mentioned two important things. One is, or you mentioned that the services are overstretched. It's impossible to get to so many places. And I've had personal experience with that, trying to assist a family, trying to recover a body of a domestic in their own house. And there's not enough earth-moving equipment, there's not enough trained personnel. It's just there's too many requirements in too many areas, which means the death toll is going to be far higher than what we've seen. And so as a result of that, and the other thing the person mentioned is, in Zulu, he said he wants closure. You know, that's the most important aspect of people passing on. People want closure, and we've been focusing on the destruction, the bridges, the containers in the water, the broken homes, the landslides, the mudslides, but the emotional, psychological aspect is far more greater, because that's very difficult to repair. And that's why these teams have been brought down, and I compliment the KZN Provincial Disaster Management, who took the bold step to say, you know what, we can't manage. Now that's a brave move to make, to say, please, can you give us help? And they called Western Cape Disaster Risk Management came in. And of course, we have very good relationships with them, because Western Cape has fires, you know, all the time. And we work with them. And part of the team members, also part of Gift of the Givers team members, that travel with us. So they came down and they said, called us and said, can you join us? So we said, certainly we will. And so we brought our teams down, and some of them are still on the way from other parts of the country. The command center is set up now in Virginia Airport in Durban. From there, it'll be proper coordination to go to the different areas. But what we do require is from those media houses, local and international, and even from public people who have been in different areas, if they can send us a message and say, you know what, this is the area where we last worked, and there was somebody missing here, or somebody drowned here, or somebody caught up in a building. If we can get that kind of information, it helps us very much to get to the areas much faster and do recovery faster. All information that comes to us makes lives much easier, and we can get to the area much faster.
Now, Imtiaz, I know that you're mentioning some of the areas that you will be focusing on. I want you to talk to us about those areas. Are there specific areas that you will be focusing on?
But that's the whole issue. We need to get feedback from the public. We know in Inanda, as a gentleman mentioned it, this actually started off because one of my team members was in Inanda. And he said he saw the people sitting on the side of the river. And he asked them, what you're doing there? You know, it's not safe, it's risky. So they said, we're waiting for the bodies of our relatives to flow down so we can catch them and give them a decent burial. And when we started getting, and then we got another message from Reservoir Hills. And the lady said, we are in Ender Drive, there's a family in Ender Drive, 2 children are missing, there's not enough people to come and help. Can anybody help? We're helping dig, but it's very, very difficult. There's 2 missing children in this area, can you help? Similar messages came from other areas, which made it very, very clear that emergency services can't cope. Not their own fault, not their fault, but because the volume of people affected is too much. So to save time, you don't want to start digging and searching in water. It takes a long time. So that's why I say, if people have an idea and say, look, in my area, in Inanda, in Mlazi, in Kwamashu, in Red Hill, in Effingham, wherever, Chatsworth, Phoenix, Svadalam, Tonga, somebody disappeared here, please can you come here? The building fell on somebody, and they're in the building, we can get a decomposition smell, or they got washed away in the water here, so we know where to look. If you do that, we'll save a lot of time and try to, together with all the teams combined, try to get back as many people, as recover as many bodies as possible, so people can have closure and, you know, and bury their loved ones.
Now, I know you spoke about just now, you literally just led me into my next question. You spoke about the importance of having all hands on deck, particularly the public as well. How do they get hold of you guys if they'd like to assist in these efforts?
Now, for this particular crisis, for this particular one of the search and rescue, we'll be focusing on that specifically because we don't want additional calls to block that number. So 072 818 2050. That is specific for those who are missing. Please don't send any other messages there. You're going to delay the system. 072 818 2050. However, if you want to have general assistance, if you want general assistance, because the other message we're getting is people say, we get message, I'm in this hall, there's people here for 3 days, they haven't eaten, the children are hungry. Somebody else will send a message, it's 4 to 5 days now, we don't have any water to drink. If you have messages like that where people need food, blankets and mattresses, and where they need water, use our toll-free line, 0800 786 911, specifically for non-missing people, the inquiries, 0800 786 911. For missing people inquiries, again, 072 818 2050. Please don't send any other message to that number. We need that line open so we can dispatch the teams. When I say dispatch, it's a KZN command center. All the teams are working under that command center to have system and to have, to be organized and work without duplication. And that system will then send out people to the different areas. Because you have water teams, you have engineering teams, you have civil teams. So you need to send different people with different capabilities to the appropriate area.
Now, Dr. Sooliman, before we let you go, I know it's been a very busy week and there's now more rain anticipated for KZN. How are we ensuring that, are we more prepared this time around?
Everybody asks the question. Sorry, the answer is there's no way you can do anything about that now. There's no way you can do anything about it right now. You can't fix the roads. You can't sort out the drainage system. You can't sort out the blocked drains. You can't sort out the poor way of the water that goes off the road. You can't move people from low settlements. The only thing you can do is to make sure that you're not on the road. Nothing else is going to work. Everything else you want to work is for the future. We have to fix the systems, in terms of infrastructure for the future. Right now, we're on low-lying ground and you're near the streams that becomes a river. Nobody's going to move. You can ask the people to move from the houses. They're not going to do that because people are afraid they're going to lose their spot. Even after a fire, people don't move away. They stay by the fire because they want to go back immediately to the spot to make sure nobody else takes it. So that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, the only solution for this is long-term, where people are given land on higher plains, not in flood plains, where there's no streams, where there's no rivers. The only way to solve that is long-term. We can't do anything about that right now. And the only thing right now, if you see the levels rising, then I suggest those in floodplain areas or low-lying areas, please move out fast because the water doesn't give time. Within minutes, it's at waist height and at neck height. It's not like 5 or 6 hours, depending on the amount of rain and how fast it comes. You'll have to move out fast. But telling people to move in advance, nobody's going to do that.
All right, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman is from the Gift of the Givers, speaking to us there about some of their efforts that they are putting in to ensure that they search and recover some of the missing people there in KZN. Once again, let's just quickly give you that number. If you require assistance with water or anything else from the Gift of the Givers, their number is 0800 786 911. And if you have missing persons that you'd like assistance with from the Gift of the Givers, their number again is 07281 2050. It's also on your screen right now.